Hi, Jude Race with UAM Football, joined here with Coach Jackson. Coach, what are some of the points of emphasis going against Arkansas Tech this week?
Well, it's coming off the game against Harding. How you prepare is a little bit different, in particular from a defensive standpoint. Just what they did offensively changed practice up a little bit different than what we normally do, how we attacked it. But, going Arkansas Tech is such a balanced team offensively. So it's back pretty much normal as far as how we would practice. Where our super team faces our offense, they face our defense. But we were able to get back this week with some good on good, which I think is important. But look, they're really good offensively and defensively. The one thing, their record is no indication of the type of football team they are, because they're really, really good, real physical, big guys, very concerning. But being able to go up against your best, for at least 16 plays during the week on Tuesday. I think we go 20 on Tuesday and then 16 on Wednesday. So that part of it, we needed to emphasize that. We needed to make sure that we got that part of it in practice, just because the speed of the game is always good. And so I think it's good for both sides of our football. So getting back to that was really important. But I think, also, we needed to look at maybe some different people, getting a few more reps, trying to get some good quality production out of those guys this week. Needed to be an emphasis, because you're getting to a point right now, Jude, where guys are getting a little bit beat up, and so you don't want to get guys in a game and then they didn't have what they needed in practice time to be prepared. So that is some other things that we looked at this week that I think helped us out.
Okay, so last game didn't go nearly as good as we wanted, but how do you take the late game momentum? Both the defense started to get stops, the offense started to move the ball and score. How do you take that late game momentum and help it translate into this week's game?
Well, you hope it does. I mean, you use a key word there, translate it, and have a great transition from the end of the game to the beginning of the Tech game. And for us, and we've said this all year long, we got to play 60 minutes. That has been, for us, it has been a determining factor in all of our losses. Just not playing the total game. Obviously, there's been some hiccups in every aspect of our games with offense, defense, and special teams. But it's one of those things that you got to keep stressing. For us, we're always going to play hard. Our guys are always going to continue to play throughout the game. But we can't get ourselves, Jude, in a hole like we did this past Saturday against a good football team in Harding and expect to be able to climb out. It doesn't matter what type of ladder you have and how long it is. You're not going to get out of a hole like that against a good football team. But I was happy as far as how we did finish, and we did some really, really positive things. So all we can do is keep stressing it as a coaching staff and have our players keep believing in it, because look, we had another great week of practice. I thought it was a very good week, and our guys understand that it's just a matter of putting 4 quarters together, and that's going to give us our best opportunity to be successful.
Is there anything, last year's game was a very heavily contested game, very exciting game that we fortunately came out and won. Is there anything that you learned from last year's game that you hopefully could apply to this year's?
Well, again, I thought last year we played a complete game. I mean, they were nationally ranked at that time. And again, they're a good football team. A lot of things they did last year, very, very similar to this year. So I think the key is going to be for us to take how we approached it, how we approached that game, and the fact that we played 4 quarters. And I know it sounds redundant, but it is what it is. And until we can figure that out as a team, it's going to continue to be an issue for us. So, our stress is going to be, how we approached it. The fact that they were ranked nationally was a little bit more of a motivation. But again, our guys' mindset this year is that, we're going to their place, which is a very, very good atmosphere football-wise, and our guys understand, the importance of this game. I mean, we're trying to get ourselves in position to try to make a run, and we can't do that unless we do some positive things and productive things against Arkansas Tech this week before any of that can happen as far as building any kind of momentum in our program.
Okay, so how does having 2 former Wonder Boys on your staff affect the game plan and how you guys have attacked this week?
Well, with Coach Ship and Coach Qualls, they both graduates from there, both played there. It's always funny to just talk to them about it. But look, they're all UAM now, and I'm sure they'd love to go back to their alma mater and get a victory. But they also understand how tough of a place it is to play there. So, look, I would love nothing more than to be able to give them a victory, and we all be happy. But it's one of those deals. I'm sure they're a little bit nervous about it, but excited also on the other hand, and they know that we got to do some positive things and play a complete game to have a chance to compete against a really good Arkansas Tech team.
So, the biggest question is always the last one.
Right.
You could have dinner with 3 people, present or past, in whatever time in history. Who would they be and why?
If I could have dinner with my mom, I would take 2 of those. I'd take 2 of those spots with her because I miss her a lot. But the other one, I'd have to be a group. I miss all the guys that, there's a couple of guys that are friends of mine from high school that I don't get to see enough. And I'd love to see more. Brian Melton, Mark Norman, my best friend Mark Norman, I miss him a lot. I wish I could spend more time with him. And then my roommates in college. If I could have dinner with them right now, because it's been a while that we've haven't been able to see each other as a group, and I would love to be able to do that. So I know that's nobody really famous. In my eyes, all those guys are famous, and obviously my mother is very special. And but that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's different for everybody.
That's right.
Well, thank you for coming on, Coach.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Now we welcome on junior defensive end Brandon Young. Brandon, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good. So, this year even if, I don't know what the official stats say, but you've been pretty dominant, on whatever edge you're on. What is something you did over the off season in order to get prepared for this season, in order to, be all you can be?
Well, the main thing was I gained about 20 pounds. So just to be able to hold up against tackles and the bigger men. So I got to get bigger myself, bigger and stronger. So I just focused on gaining muscle and mass.
So how'd you do that? Balancing, obviously most people know you got a pretty explosive first step. What was something, how'd you keep the balance between gaining weight and retaining, your speed and your quickness?
Well, I do explosive lifts. So when you do explosive lifts, it helps with all of that. And so power cleans, say, it works your whole body. So I love doing power cleans, hang cleans, just anything explosive. So it'll get you stronger and keep the explosiveness that I already have. Okay.
So, what do you think, or what do you view going into this week is the most important thing in order to stop Tech?
Doing what you coaches do, they do a whole lot of RPOs. So you got to engage blocks and then quickly recognize if it's run or pass, and if it's either one, you got to get off the block and play your assignment and make the play.
Okay. What is something personally this week that you're really focusing on?
I want to get more sacks. I don't believe I had a sack in 2 weeks, so I want to get more sacks.
So what are you doing in order to get more sacks? Is there any kind of anything you've been working on?
I won't say it's anything specific, but doing pass rush drills and hand fighting and just pass rush drills in general. So I'm a pass rusher, so that's what I really want to do.
So you obviously, you went to a JUCO. So, what's the most important lesson you learned going through the JUCO process?
Trust the process. If anything, trust the process. Because when I first got to my JUCO, I had a guy in front of me that was bigger, faster, and stronger. And I just trusted the process on what I had to do to develop myself to get better and better each day. And by the end of the season, I was better and better. I got better and better. And even though he was bigger, faster, and stronger than me, we were splitting reps. So I turned out just to be just as good as he was because I did the little things that got me better. You do the little things, the big things that handle themselves, and I'll carry that over to here. Okay,
so you said trust the process. That's something that Keem, when he was on, really emphasized that. Is that some kind of common thing that talk about on the D-line?
Nah, it's not. We just had to trust the process at my JUCO. So we said it at my JUCO, so I just brought that along with here.
So, question is, if you could have dinner with anyone present or past throughout history, what 3 people would you have dinner with and why?
What 3 people? Oh, the first would probably be Khalil Mack because he's an outstanding pass rusher. He doesn't only get sacks; he gets strip sacks. He make game changing plays. I say him. Well, I just explained why him, but
That's my guy. Bear down.
yeah. And I say Marshawn Lynch because he just funny. I just want to be around him, see what he actually like in person. I've seen him on videos and on TV. He just seemed a real fun, cool guy to be with. It seems like you low down to earth.
Yeah. Who's the third one?
One more. I'm not really sure.
Anybody from the past?
From the past, what you mean?
All the time.
Oh, ooh. I don't want to say our football players, but I'm not sure. Ray Lewis, because how he did everything, how he practiced, how he worked out, how he prepared for the game, how he watched film. Like he was a master at his craft, and I strive to be just like that. So I want to sit down, have lunch with him, and talk ball.
So 3 for 3 football players. You didn't have anybody like, I don't know, a lot of people say like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln.
Nah, I ain't worried about none of them. They did their thing.
Worried about becoming a better football player and learning from them. That's good. Well, thank you for coming on and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Now we welcome on sophomore wide receiver Jeremy Hampton. Jeremy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
All right, so how are you planning to build on last week's breakout performance? 2 touchdowns against Harding.
My goal was just to get 3, but I'm basically trying to build, be better at stacking and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like Coach Quad be telling me in practice, and just catching the football and making plays for the offense to move the ball downfield before we can score and get points on the board.
So, I mean, is there anything in particular this week you've been focusing on?
No, sir, not really. Just doing what I did last week and just sticking to the basic and the routines that we do in practice. That's pretty much it.
You know, in your opinion, what do we need to be doing in order to get back on track, get the offense rolling again? You know, we got a little late momentum in the last game, but what is something that, you think the offense needs to do?
We can come out strong at the beginning, like throwing the ball, running it strong, like that, to be more aggressive, pretty much. Be more aggressive.
Well, I will say that I think in the first 2 games, the offense came out and pretty much scored right away, and it seems like in the last 2 it's taken a little while, to get rolling. Finally, in the fourth quarter of last game, the game before, we finally got the ball moving. I mean, is there anything that, happened that all of a sudden was, allowed y'all to start moving it again?
Not really. We were just being aggressive. We just didn't show no quit. That's pretty much, You got some people that show quit and other people that don't show quit. You want the ones that don't show quit to be out there so they can fight and, be ready to play and have fun, pretty much.
What's been the best part about coming to UAM?
Oh, just the atmosphere, Coach Quaz, he's a little funny dude, Coach Ship, they both be trying to crack jokes. But pretty much all the coaches and just the atmosphere, it's a better environment, pretty much.
Before you were at a JUCO, what was one of the lessons or biggest things you learned from going through that process?
The biggest lesson I learned is to stay on track with your school, your money, pretty much everything. Don't get behind on classes. Make sure you find out your A through. Don't show up late to nothing. Just be on time, pretty much.
Be responsible?
Yeah.
Will it be a big thing?
Be responsible.
All right, so the most important question is one we do at the very end every week. And this week's is, if you could have dinner with anyone present or in the past, what 3 people would you choose and why?
I choose Jarvis Landry. Why? Because I look up to him. I see myself. I can play like him a little bit, but he's a little bit better than me and all that. And my uncle Chris that passed away like 2 years back, and Coach Quaz, so we can crack jokes all day.
All right, well, thank you for coming on, and good luck this weekend.